everybody, Kimber from Moksha Yoga and Wellness here. I wanted to bring you some tips on how to balance kapha dosha in the summertime. So when we think of kapha dosha, we think of heavy, grounded, maybe moist, sluggish, slow. So normally when we think of kapha dosha as it applies to our seasonal timeline of Ayurveda, we see kapha in late winter and really heavily in spring. We all know that heavy, sluggish feeling coming out of spring, just trying to shed the winter blues and get ready for summer. But where I am in Western North Carolina, we have a very humid summer. So that also brings some of those kapha qualities in, of that moisture, that warmth, that heavy quality we all know about humidity. So I've heard from a lot of folks that I'm working with that they feel that their kapha is creeping up in the summertime. So here are some tips on what you can do to balance kapha in summertime. So it really goes back to our daily routine, because what's interesting about kapha in summertime is the normal recommendations for kapha are warm it up, jazz it up, put a little zing in your step, put some cayenne, put some ginger. But we can't really get away with those things in summer because summer is also very heavily influenced by pitta dosha, which is ruled by the fire element. So if we were to do all those super warming things to kapha in the summer that may work for us in the springtime, in the summer they could actually aggravate pitta. We could get too much of that fire, and then because we're trying to balance one, we could go out of balance in the other direction. So that's why recommendations for kapha in summer are a little bit different and more lifestyle focused is what I found to be effective as opposed to the spices and what you're eating. So it all starts with when you're getting up. If we remember our dosha clock of the day, kapha time of day is 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So if you're getting up in that kind of part of the day, you're setting the stage for the rest of your day to have that slow, sluggish, downward quality. So especially if you have kapha out of balance, it's going to sound like the most disgusting thing you could possibly do, but getting up with the sun, or at the very least getting up early on a routine every day. So you have to remember with Ayurveda, we balance with the opposite. Like increases like, and we balance with the opposite. So if you already have a lot of kapha, if you're already out of balance in that way, you're going to crave more that gives you out of balance. You're just going to keep going on that trajectory. The momentum's already going that way. So to break that cycle, we bring in opposite qualities to bring us back towards whatever center looks like for us. So if you already are feeling dull and sluggish and heavy, the last thing you need to do is to sleep in till 10 o'clock, get up, lazy morning. So getting up early, preferably with the sun, would be best. But hey, if you got 7:30, that's better than sleeping the day away. You'll already feel a change in your energy. And then as soon as you get up, getting out of bed. So I know when I feel my kapha out of balance, I'll wake up and I'll snuggle with the dog or the cat or my boyfriend. I'll read in bed, I'll relax until something really motivates me to get up, normally that I have to pee. So when you wake up, get out of bed. Start with that movement, start with that springy, light, bright energy instead of that slow, sluggish, heavy, dull, cuddly. I know it's great, but if you're looking for getting away from too much of that, gotta bring yourself back. So wake up early, get out of bed as soon as you get up, and then we look at our daily routine of Ayurveda. So one of the first things that I found to be really helpful is I see kapha a lot in my sinuses. Kapha is really associated with mucus, whether that be in your head or in your bowels. So one good way to combat when I'm feeling mucusy in my sinuses, or if I ate ice cream the night before, or other mucus-producing foods and you wake up and you can't even breathe out of one nostril, is using my neti pot. Normally the neti pot is something that I use all winter long, all springtime, and then I don't really feel like I need it in the summer, but it's really, really helpful for clearing out the sinus congestion of kapha in the summertime. So if you're not familiar with a neti pot, this is mine. Super simple, just ceramic. You can get this at any natural food store. It comes with really, really high-grade pharmaceutical salt. You'll warm up some water, not quite bath water hot, but at least the temperature of your body. Mix some salt in there, then lean over the sink, push this in one nostril, all the gunk comes out the other nostril. It's so sickly satisfying, I promise. It's weird until it's not. You get used to it. It doesn't feel like you're drowning. It doesn't feel awful. You may have a little bit of a learning curve of where to put your head so it doesn't just slide back down your throat. But once you get the hang of it, super easy, super simple. The next thing that I'll do in my morning routine if I'm feeling like kapha's got me a little bit heavy, I normally am a huge fan of self-massage with oil, either in the morning or the evening, depending on when I shower. I really love to do it after I shower. I really love the oil. Ayurveda says that rubbing our skin with oil is how we care for our biggest sense organ, our skin. Improves circulation, improves immunity, improves hydration, just so many great benefits. Really soothing to the nervous system, really stimulates lymph movement. I could go on and on and on about the benefits of just rubbing a little oil on your skin. And it is a little, like maybe 2 tablespoons. I'm not like getting ready for a massage here, right? So normally I would be using coconut oil in the summer because it's got a cooling property to help balance pitta. But sometimes if my kapha is elevated, the oil just seems too heavy. Like I don't need more oily goop. That just seems like it would further exacerbate my kapha. So what I do instead is dry brush my skin. I don't even remember where I got this. I've had this for so many years, but it stimulates all of the same things that you would get from the oil massage. You're still improving your circulation, you are still improving lymph moving around your body, you're still waking up the body, you're still improving the quality of your skin, but you're not leaving that heavy oiliness that you would get from an oil massage. So you can use this just the same. Oops. Feels a little funny at first, but I know after I did this for the first time, I woke up the next morning and like my body was asking for it. It's so cool. Feels so good and tingly and just energizing afterwards. So second part of my morning routine, if I feel like kapha is high. Then the next thing also is not going to sound fun to do if your kapha is elevated, is to exercise first thing in the morning. So if I have a big kapha day, I know I'm going to get out of bed, I'm going to run around the block for 15-20 minutes, and I'm going to feel so much better. And it doesn't have to be running. It can be yoga, it can be any sort of cardio, it can be anything, walking your dog, just moving the body first thing in the morning to kind of shed some of that stagnation. Remember, we're balancing with the opposite. So if kapha can have a heavy, stagnant feeling, want to bring in movement. Exercise is one of the best ways to stimulate stubborn kapha. So exercising first thing in the morning. I like to do it before I eat breakfast. And then if we are thinking food, things that help kapha in the summertime, light and bright. Lots of greens. So I made a big green smoothie. That felt super great. If you are having excess kapha, you may think, want cinnamon rolls and donuts and pastries and waffles, which is just more of that heavy, soft fluffiness. We're looking for the opposite, light and bright. So smoothies are a really great breakfast option if you're feeling like your kapha is high. And then depending on who you are, I can get away with it, but it totally depends on your body. A little bit of caffeine in the morning I found helps just stimulate that kapha. If you're one of those people who's like, what, I drink caffeine every morning, then totally different for your circumstances. I don't metabolize it super well or super fast, so a little bit goes a long way with me. I can have a little caffeine and I feel like it just shakes off the fog and gets me going. You have to be really careful with caffeine if you have a lot of vata in your constitution, because caffeine is really, really drying, which vata is already dry. And if you're pitta, the caffeine can also, especially coffee, can be really heating, which can also aggravate pitta. So much to talk about coffee, so many different perspectives. I can make a whole other video on that. So I hope that was helpful to give you some ideas to balance kapha in the summertime. Waking up early, getting out of bed as soon as you wake up, using your neti pot, dry brushing your skin, exercising, eating light and bright, and maybe a little bit of caffeine. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I'm happy to make more videos on how to balance the doshas in the season. So thanks for tuning in.